My name is Frank Christensen, and I'm the coordinator of officials for IFAF in Europe. This is the fourth of 5 training tapes dealing with offensive holding. Today we're specifically looking at the category called hook and restrict. So we'll look at some examples of what that looks like and how to call it, who should call it, and what is enough that we want to call it. But before we get to the game film, let's have a look to see what the rulebook and the MOFO have to say on this topic.
In the rulebook, we go to 399B that defines holding as: the hand and arm shall not be used to grasp, pull, hook, clamp, or encircle in any way that illegally impedes or illegally obstructs an opponent. And that was pretty much it for the rulebook. In the MOFO, we go to 3.3 contact fouls. 1A, only call it when all of the following conditions are met. 1. The foul is visibly apparent. That means if it wouldn't show up on video, don't call it. 2. The foul affects the play or is conspicuous. That means if it is away from the point of attack and isn't conspicuous, don't call it. 3. The action is demonstrably restrictive. That means if the player is not illegally slowed down or forced to take a longer route to his target, don't call it. And 4. The foul disadvantages the opponent. That means if it actually moves the player the way he wants to go, don't call it. B. Actions that constitute offensive holding include: 1. Grab and restrict. Grabbing the opponent's body or uniform in a manner that restricts his ability to go in the direction he wishes to go. 2. Hook and restrict, which is also the focus area for this training tape. Hooking a hand or arm around the opponent's body beyond the frame of the body presented to the blocker in a manner that restricts his ability to go in the direction he wishes to go. And 3. Takedown. Taking an opponent to the ground by grabbing or hooking when he doesn't want to go to the ground. Note that blocking the opponent to the ground by use of the hand or arm within the frame of the opponent's body or in the back in the free blocking zone is not illegal. C. A player is restricted if: 1. He is unable to turn or change direction due to continued restrictive contact. 2. His upper body is turned by the blocker having his arms around him. 3. He is unable to gain separation or to disengage from the opponent by turning, twisting, stopping, etc. 4. His balance is changed or his natural foot movement is taken away. D. Don't call holding if any of the following conditions are met, unless the foul is really conspicuous. 1. The player held made the tackle behind the neutral zone or where there is no neutral zone. 2. The player knocks down or intercepts a pass. 3. The player recovers a fumble. 4. At the point of attack on a run, the opponents are squared up, moving with each other, and none of the restrictions above are noted. 5. It happens at the same time as a tackle elsewhere on the field. 6. It is behind the neutral zone and a forward pass has already been thrown or is in the process of being thrown. 7. It is part of a double team block unless a takedown occurs or the defender breaks the double team and is pulled back. 8. It is the result of a defensive rip. That means the defensive player racing the offensive player's arm. 9. The player held makes no effort to get free of the block. That means he gives up. E. Holding an opponent's jersey is not the same as holding the opponent. For jersey pull to be a foul, there must be demonstrable restriction to the player's movement. And finally, F. Watching the disengagement of opponents is as important as watching their engagement. If a defender slides off a block and is able to proceed normally in the direction he wants to travel, usually towards the ball, then it is unlikely that holding has occurred. And that was the MOFO and the rulebook. Now let's have a look at some game film. On this first play, we're looking at the offensive tackle across the field, so big A 77. And right there you see him hook his arm around the defender and pull him down. He might even consider this as a takedown, but we're looking at it as a hook and turn, and this certainly is something that we would want to have called, and in this situation, we've got a call from the backfield, but also from the wing, and that's good to have focus on this because this needs to be called. On this play, we're also looking at the tackle across the field, and he's going to pull towards us, so it's going to be easier to see what he does. And he's going to go upfield, and right there he's going to just pull or grab or hook the defender and pull him just away enough. So clearly there is restriction. The running back is right there, so it is point of attack, and it certainly has an effect because it hinders the defender from potentially making the tackle, and the runner gets off a good run. So it certainly has an effect, and a good job by the center judge to focus in his area and get this call. So this is a good call that we need to get. We're looking at the right guard, so 73 I think it is, 79, and right there you see his arm coming around. Right there he's beat and he needs to let go, which he doesn't do. So right away we've got restriction. Quarterback still in the pocket, and he actually manages to get his pass off. So there is certainly his point of attack, and there has an effect on the play, and a good job by the umpire to focus on his keys and call this, which needs to be called. On this play, we're looking at A70, the left tackle here. You see right away there that he gets his arm around. This is a hook and restrict. The quarterback is still in the pocket. Point of attack is there, and he gets the ball off. So that's the effect on the play. So this is something that we need to call, and crew size and formation will determine who has this tackle, but this is certainly something that's big enough that we need to see this. On this play that we actually have two angles from, we're looking at the nearest tackle, and he's going to engage the defensive end coming around, and right there he's going to get the defender to the ground, and from this angle, it looks suspicious where his left hand is, or his left arm is, and then he also pushes a little bit with his right hand. But we'll get a better look from looks like the referee's angle to see what happens from the end zone view. And here's the end zone view, and obviously we're looking at the left tackle here, and we'll get a better look at what he does with his hand. And right there you see that hook. Right there you see him beat, you see the hook and restrict. We've got the restriction, quarterback still in the pocket, that's point of attack, and there the quarterback goes, so that's an effect on the play. But again, to call this, what we want to do is recognize, okay, there is the holding. Now let's wait and see what the offense does. Okay, there he escapes. Now we can throw the flag. We don't want to be too fast and throw it right now, because 95 in there might be able to get in there and sack the quarterback, in which case we could leave the left tackle alone. But once we see the holding and we see the escape, now we can throw the flag. The rest of the plays are situations where we can leave it alone. In this first one, we're looking at the near tackle here, and as we'll see, there is clear restriction. So here we go. We've got that hand coming around the leg, and there is clear restriction. Here we go. So right there, he is hooking the leg. So that would qualify as a holding. But if we look at the rest of the play, the quarterback is already throwing the ball, so the defensive end never had a chance to make the play. So in terms of timing or effect on the play, it really doesn't qualify. Now, if we see this and then the quarterback is still in the pocket, he's still looking around, now we can throw this flag. But in this situation, as for timing and effect on the play, I think this is a good no call. On this play, we're looking at the tight end there, A82, and he's going to grab the defender right there, and they're going to go down. Now, so we definitely have restriction here, but the player being held, so to speak, still makes the tackle. So the question is if there's any real effect on the play. I mean, the defender still wins. So I think in this case, we would want something a little bigger. Now, had the runner squirted through there and gotten past this defender, certainly we should have a flag down for holding. But here I think we can leave it alone, simply because at the end of the day, the defender won the battle. On this play, we're looking at the running back, and this play is somewhat similar to the previous one. So we'll see the running back come up, and he clearly hooks and grabs and holds the defender. And it would be tempting to throw the flag right now. You say, whoa, this is a big holding, I caught it, let's go ahead and call it. But if we hold it for a second, here we go with the sack, so there's no advantage gained. The defense still wins this play, and that's why I think it's okay not to call this. I mean, if we do call it, well, the only thing we get out of it is holding up the game to get the defense to decline that holding, because they would want to play over the foul. So again, you see the hold. Now let's see if it has an impact. No, it didn't. So you can go ahead and let it go, or leave it with a talk to. On this last play, we're looking at the tackle here closest to the camera, and we'll see the same again. So we've got clear hook and restriction right there, so we do have the restriction. But if we throw the flag now, we miss the fact that the same player actually makes the sack, makes the tackle. So again, the philosophy is quite clear. You see the hold, and then you wait to see the effect on the play. And here clearly it has no effect. So it's a good job by this center judge really to not call this. So for these holdings, you gotta have restriction, you gotta have point of attack, and you gotta have effect on the play. And if you don't have all three, you can let it go. So that was it for this training tape. I hope you found something you can use on the field.